Virginia Tech made 28 straight bowl games between 1993 and 2021, but they saw that streak come to an end in 2022. This program hasn't seen a 9-win season since 2017. They haven't been to a conference championship since 2016. But that could all change this year, as Virginia Tech is shaping up to have a very special season with the most experienced team in all of college football. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad you could join us today for our Virginia Tech Hokies 2024 prediction. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home of our newsletters, both the generic one and our betting newsletter, which you can get if you sign up for our expert picks, some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the entire country. You do not want to miss out on that, guys. The earlier you sign up for them, the better. We guarantee you'll win big with us. We're hitting over 63% of our bets over the course of our career. You do not want to miss out on it, guys. No other handicapper is going to offer what we're offering over at thegridironexpert.com. Also, check out our mailing address to send us some of your team's gear. We'd love to get some Hokies gear in our background, just like all of the other fans that have sent us this gear. The mailing address is there for you to become a member of our GE Nation, and we want you to become a part of that as we get closer and closer to the start of this season. So Virginia Tech, guys, I love this team. 21 starters back for Brent Pry's Hokies. That is 86% of their overall production from last year coming back to Blacksburg. And if you watch Virginia Tech last year, 2022 was a bad year, right? 2023 looked like it was going to be a bad year, and then they righted the ship, made a bowl game, torched Tulane in their bowl game, finished the year on a high, 7-6, and this team should have been a lot better. They had 3 losses by just 7 points to Purdue, Marshall, and NC State. That's all in the back, right? Put it in the back of your mind. Let's move forward because 2024 is shaping up to be something special. On offense, 95% of their production from last year is back. That means all 11 starters are back. Kyron Drones leading the way at quarterback. Took over at quarterback after the first few games. Wasn't even the starter to start last year. Took over really quickly after that. Sparked this offense to where they needed to be. Over 2,000 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions, and then rushed for over 800 yards and 5 touchdowns. He set the Virginia Tech school record with 151 straight passes without interception. He is dangerous with his legs. He takes great care of the football. If he can continue to improve as a passer, the sky is the limit for him and this offense. They returned their star running back in Bashaw Tootin, who had over 860 yards and 10 touchdowns last year. DeQuan Felton returns at wide receiver with over 660 yards and 8 touchdowns last year, and an offensive line that gave up just 25 sacks for the entire season and only 14 sacks in the final 9 games of the year. This team is loaded from top to bottom. Great dual threat quarterback, one of the best running backs in the conference, a loaded wide receiver core, and one of the best offensive lines in the conference as well. Defensively, just as good. 77% of the defensive production back this year. 10 starters total. 4 of their top 5 tacklers are back, including Keely Lawson at linebacker. Number 4 passing defense in the country last year for Virginia Tech, and that secondary returns intact. That is led, of course, by their shutdown defensive back Dorian Strong, who led the team with 3 interceptions last year. The defensive line, absolutely loaded as well. Antoine Powell-Ryland had 9.5 sacks last year. He's back to anchor this defense. They added Kelvin Gilliam from Oklahoma. They added Aeneas Peebles in from Duke, who had over 87 tackles, 7 sacks, 7 tackles for a loss in his career with the Blue Devils. So from the defensive line, the linebacking core, and the secondary, Virginia Tech is stacked. There is really no horrible weakness for this Hokies team. And when you look at the schedule, you go, holy cow, they could be in for something special. Because I'm here to tell you right now, Virginia Tech starting the year 3-0. They will beat Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt in the SEC, sure, on the road, interesting, but this is still a Vandy team that's going to struggle quite a bit, gave up over 450 yards per game. They're going to have no answer for this Virginia Tech offense. They will get revenge over Marshall, who they lost to by 7 last year. They allowed 214 rushing yards to the Herd, but Marshall dealing with a new quarterback, a new running back, and having to replace 4 of their top 5 tacklers. And then at Old Dominion, Virginia Tech, ironically, has lost both of the trips that they've traveled to face the Monarchs. They did win last year at home, 36-17. I do not fear for them against Old Dominion this year. Maybe if you're a Hokies fan, you didn't fear for the previous road trips, but this year I feel very confident they will defeat the Monarchs. 3-0 before their first true test at home against Rutgers, a Rutgers team that torched the Hokies last year, 35-16. The Scarlet Knights had 256 rushing yards. 256 rushing yards against the Hokies. But now, you look at this team now. Loaded once again. Kyle Monangai for Rutgers is back, one of the best running backs in the Big Ten. 16 starters back as a whole. Very stingy defense, of course. But one thing's kind of different here. Last year when they played, Kyron Drones was making his first start for Virginia Tech. The offense was nowhere near what it was at the end of last season, or what it's going to be now, when they faced Rutgers early in 2023. So much has changed. Now Virginia Tech's got home field advantage. They've got an offense and a quarterback that's clicking and has continuity and consistency. Rutgers is going to put up one heck of a fight, but I guarantee you Brent Pryce, front seven, is going to be ready to shut down that run, force the new Rutgers quarterback, Ethan Kaliak-Manis, to win the game through the air. I don't think he's going to be able to do that, especially in this tough of an environment. Virginia Tech gets revenge over Rutgers. So they get revenge over Marshall and Rutgers in the first 4 weeks of the year. They're 4-0, of course nationally ranked, heading into a massive Friday night matchup at Miami. This is huge when it comes to the ACC standings, right? Huge when it comes to maybe who plays for a conference championship. Huge for these teams, maybe with the playoff. You know, the playoff expanded to 12 teams. You don't have to win your conference to get in. You can get in as an at-large, and both these teams have so high of an expectations that winning 10, obviously 11 games could get you in as an at-large if you don't even win your conference. But Miami, guys, they're tough. Right? They went in and added a lot of guys to the transfer portal. Cam Ward comes in at quarterback from Washington State. Damian Martinez coming in at running back from Oregon State. Xavier Restrepo had over 1,000 yards at wide receiver last year. 7 starters are back on defense that only allowed 106 rushing yards per game last year. So this is a team that's going to be bulking up on the defensive line to shut down Bashaw Tootin. This is going to be a defense for Miami that's going to find every way possible to contain Kyron Drones. And if they do that, can he win the game solely through the air on the road? I'm going to say no. Those midweek games, Thursday, Friday night games, are always kind of tricky. They're even trickier when you have to play on the road. Mario Cristobal, I think he's going to have his team ready to go. And ironically, despite Miami always falling short of expectations, I think this could be the year where they finally meet them. They have tons and tons of talent. And I think the Hurricanes get the job done at home behind the strength of their defense and an offense that absolutely can match Virginia Tech step for step this season. So the Hurricanes get the job done, hand Virginia Tech their first loss of the year. They're 4-1, but let's make them 5-1 heading into their first bye week. They'll go on the road way out west, a long road trip to take on Stanford in what will be Virginia Tech's first ever true road game in the state of California. It's their first game in the state of California since the 2002 San Francisco Bowl. Doesn't even exist anymore, but first ever true road game in the state of California. They'll go out there and they'll get a win against a Stanford team that's going to struggle in their first year in the ACC as they continue to try to rebuild under Troy Taylor. So you look at that, guys. They are 5-1, still nationally ranked, still in the hunt for an ACC title, looking good, entering a bye week. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think they win their next 3 games coming out of the bye week. And I'm not trying to fast forward through this or anything like that, but they are a significantly better team than Boston College, a team they beat 48-22 last year. The Hokies put up 600 yards of offense against the Eagles. Now they're getting Boston College on a Thursday night. Midweek games are tricky, but they're at home, which helps. At night, at home, off a week of rest, and Boston College dealing with a new head coach, of course, in Bill O'Brien. Obviously getting a late start in that coaching cycle when Jeff Hafley surprised us all by leaving for Green Bay. They'll beat Boston College. They'll beat Georgia Tech, who offensively can hang with the Hokies. I think Georgia Tech offensively can put up a pretty good fight. 8 starters back. They're going to be electric offensively, but if they can't fix themselves defensively, where they allowed over 200 rushing yards per game last year, they're going to be in for a world of hurt. When you're facing a team that has a dangerous dual threat quarterback and a dangerous running back like Bashaw Tootin, I'm a little concerned if I'm Georgia Tech, especially coming into Blacksburg. So they're going to win that game. And then Syracuse is a big trap game. A big trap game against the Orange. I love what Fran Brown's doing with Syracuse. I love that they added Kyle McCord. I love LaQuint Allen. I love Aronde Gadsden. I love what they're doing on both sides of the ball with the Orange. But this is still a team that is trying to still establish an identity in their first year with a brand new head coach. Virginia Tech won 38-10 last year, outgained the Orange 528-137. Again, what happened last year to this year is very different. It doesn't mean anything. But I still think Syracuse is a ways away from really competing against the top dogs and competing against what could be a top 10, at least top 15 Virginia Tech team. So beware of the Carrier Dome of your Virginia Tech. We've seen them slip up there before in upset fashion. I don't think Brent Pry's team falls victim to the trap this year. They beat Syracuse. They don't overlook the orange of preparation for Clemson. And then they come home, Blacksburg, probably at night, against a good Clemson team with everything on the line. A potential ACC title berth on the line, possible college football playoff berth on the line. What's going to happen in Blacksburg? Well, I'll tell you this. You look at Clemson, guys. This is a good team. They've got Garrett Riley back as their offensive coordinator, year 2 under his system, Cade Klubnik, Phil Maffa, Antonio Williams, a loaded offensive line, and a defense that's always dangerous with Dabo Swinney at the helm. Always. You can make the argument right now that Virginia Tech has the better offense than the Tigers. I wouldn't even necessarily argue with that right now. You know, Cade Klubnik is up and down. He's not nearly as mobile as Kyron Drones, Phil Maffa, and Bayshaw Tootin. I'd love to see them go at it this year. It's going to be great to watch this game. Defensively, you might want to give the edge to Clemson, possibly there. I mean, it's kind of close. But ultimately, I don't think Virginia Tech has enough to pull off this win over the Tigers team that, for many, is the ACC favorite. This is the Clemson team that is stacked from top to bottom. And that's the team that I think, once again, kind of similar to Miami, in terms of style here. If you can contain Kyron Drones and force him to win the game through the air, I'm not saying he's incapable of that, but obviously that's going to take away Virginia Tech's bread and butter. They're going to take away a dimension of the offense that they need to succeed. And I think Clemson, with all that defensive talent that they have, and as good as they are on that side of the ball, is going to find a way to limit the rushing attack, both with their quarterbacks and their running backs, and force Virginia Tech to air it out. They're going to have some explosive plays here and there, but making them one-dimensional is going to be the key, and Clemson's going to get it done. Clemson, a more veteran team than that of Virginia Tech. A lot of experience for Virginia Tech, absolutely. Still like the Tigers here. Clemson comes on the road, gets the win, hands Virginia Tech their second loss. They're down in the dumps. They're upset. That's why the next bye week comes at a great time. They regroup, and then who do they get? Duke and Virginia, 2 teams that are going to struggle in 2024. A new head coach for Duke in Manny Diaz, and a Virginia team that Virginia Tech has owned, has won 18 of the last 19 meetings against the Cavaliers. That includes a 55-17 win last year. The Hokies will win both of those games, and they will finish the year at 10-2. If this in fact happens, they will be in the hunt for an ACC championship berth, their first since 2016. If this does in fact happen, Virginia Tech will clinch their first double-digit win season since 2016. And if this in fact does happen, there is a possibility they can find themselves in the hunt for an at-large college football playoff berth. And if they find a way to beat Clemson or Miami, there's a chance they will be in the college football playoff. No doubt about it. This Virginia Tech team, guys, is loaded from top to bottom. They have got a very favorable schedule. They are bringing tons of momentum into the season. I love everything that Brent Pry is doing in Blacksburg. I love everything that he's bringing back this year. This is a force to be reckoned with. This is a team to be reckoned with. And this is a team that I do not think will disappoint. This is a team that will find themselves in conference title contention all year long. This is a team that will be very difficult to stop. This is a team that is maybe just one upset away from competing, possibly, in the 12-team playoff. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com. Do not miss out on that. Check out our mailing address to send some of your team's gear. We want you to check out all of that, guys, to become a member of our GE Nation, because you're going to want to be a part of it once this season starts, and certainly as we progress through the rest of prediction season. So do not miss out. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.